Hello everyone, this is Martin with My IELTS Tutor. I want to thank you for joining me. Today we're going to continue our discussion about listening, but today's lesson, last lesson we talked about the basics of the listening test. Now we're going to go more in depth, so let's begin. Now, academic versus general, the listening test. There's no difference between the two. It's the same listening test, whether you take general IELTS or you take academic IELTS. Duration is for 40 minutes total. Duration for listening to the audios themselves total 30 minutes in total. Now the paper-based test, you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers at the end. For computer-based IELTS, you have 2 minutes to check your answers at the end of the test. So now let's look at questions. Now there are a total of 40 questions. There's 10 questions per section. And if you remember, there's section 1 through 4. So each section has 10 questions. Now you must answer a variety of question types, and I'll go over the question types in a later lesson. And so now what you don't need to worry about for the test is prior knowledge on topics. They're not concerned with what you already know. They of what your understanding of what you hear. And so that's what they're testing. They're not testing you on your knowledge of any subject. They're testing your understanding of what you hear. And so the questions test understanding of main idea and facts, ability to differentiate opinions and attitudes of others. So you may be presented with different opinions from different people, and so you'll have to distinguish whose opinion is which. And then understanding the purpose of an utterance. So you may be asked why the speaker says a particular thing. And finally, you're tested on your ability to follow the development of ideas. Now, the structure, let's go take a more in-depth look at the structure. So the structure, we have section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. Now, section 1 is a transactional conversation between two people in which someone is making arrangements for something, such as maybe renting a car or booking a hotel room, something of that nature. Section 2 is a monologue, which means one person is talking, and this is in a social context, social situation. And so this could be a tour guide of a museum talking about the different attractions of the museum, or giving directions for the map of a park and such. Section 3 is a discussion between 2 to 4 people in an educational or training context. So this could be, for instance, a classroom discussion with a professor. Or it could be a student or students meeting with their teaching assistant to discuss a project. Or it's a group of students just meeting together to discuss something they learned in class. And then section 4 is an academic lecture that's done from an introductory course, such as introduction to psychology, or introduction to English, or physics, chemistry. That portion of the test is non-technical. You will not have to worry about prior knowledge, like I said. And so those are the sections. Now, what you need to do is pay attention to the context of the audio. By that is the situation of the audio. Now, sections 1 and 2, again, are social situations. Sections 3 and 4 are educational or training situations. Now, you do have time to read the questions before listening to the audios, and you want to read both the directions and questions as well. The directions are very important to read. Now, scoring. There are a maximum of 40 points scored. 1 point, you get 1 point for each answer marked correctly. So if you answer a question correctly, you get 1 point. There is no partial credit, and there is no negative marking. So now that's it for this lesson. Next lesson, I believe I'm going to go into the rubrics, the scoring, and then or I might give tips. So stay tuned for that. But I want to thank you for joining me.